The average woman has no desire for the average male. Women are pickier and they're made choices than men, especially sexually. That's the case in every culture. It's not surprising because women have more at stake sexually than men do, per episode, because men don't get pregnant, obviously, and so that female pickiness that's the case. That's definitely true. Whether it's worse now or not, I doubt if it is. I would say to young men who are irritated at women, if you're irritated at, as a class of creatures, there's something wrong with you because they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right. Well, now that might get, I know that's a terrible thing to say, and I know perfectly well. I know what that rejection is like. I know what that fear is like. I don't know it as well as some men know it because I wasn't rejected outright. But what you have to understand is, what do you expect from women? If you got pregnant because you had sex, you'd be choosy too. And then, well, don't they find you attractive? Well, maybe you have a plan. Are you as educated as you could be? Are you a liar? Are you a rabid pornography user? Because maybe that's undermining your motivation to seek out a woman and grow yourself. It's like if you're rejected constantly, and you're out there really trying, because that's another thing to ask yourself is, well, how many women have you actually asked out? And are you so sure that you're not picking women who will certainly reject you because you're trying to bat out of your league? For the men who are complaining about the standards of women today, and it is elevated, that it's not so much a focus of pointing the finger at them, not choosing them, but more so looking in the mirror and asking themselves what can they do to improve themselves to be so desirable, instead of focus simply in the inability to be stronger, be a little stronger, dress a little better, speak a little more clearly, aim a little higher, and practice that, and that'll work. Now, that's more difficult for some people than others, because some people bear incredibly difficult developmental burden. Do you know? And I'm not saying that this is easy, but I'm saying that it's a useful reaction. What else are you gonna do? What else are you gonna do? Complain about? I've seen that in men. I went out with a group of men who were having trouble with their wives, and they'd gone off to this couples retreat, and it was mostly rubbish, although they were trying a bit to get their lives together. It's these picky women, and that could be the problem. For them it might be. Maybe there's a demographic issue or community issue that I don't understand. So I wouldn't assume that I knew what the problem was. But those sorts of things, in my experience, have to be solved at a high level of detail. So let's say you are having trouble finding a mate, and you think, well, I'm reasonably symmetrical. I'm a decent physical condition. I'm young, and I have a decent salary, but still, okay, well, that's a deep dive issue. I don't know what's wrong. It's like you seem okay, so why don't you have a partner? Well, that's a deep mystery. Like, it's really a deep mystery. It's nothing trivial. There's no simple solution to that. I don't really do sociology in some sense, except insofar as I understand the role of the individual in relationship to society. You need to sit down and take the problem apart and strategize that. You'll figure out how to fix it. There's a sacrificial element in maturation, right? You have to sacrifice the potentiality of childhood for the actuality of a frame. And the question is, well, why would you do that? Well, one reason is it happens to you whether you do it or not. You can either choose your damn limitation, or you can let it take you unaware when you're 30, or even worse when you're 40. And then that is not happy. What seems to be happening is that if male enrollment falls below a certain percentage, and it looks like it's something like 40%, then the females start not going to. And that's not surprising. I mean, really, of course, how many people meet their prospective mates in university or college? Pretty much everyone goes that route. So it's not surprising that that would happen with young people.